one thing that I kind of like here from Army Genius is CML, aka Mavis, who has been playing this Clockwork. I'd like to see him rotate if this Ember Spirit goes mid. So if it's a Tusk versus Ember lane, even though we kind of see that Tusk can do fine, you can still burn out the Flame Guard or nuke after the Flame Guards run out to get that maximized damage output. I have seen a lot of Clockworks just rotate to the mid lane, just bully the Ember Spirit with Battery Assault. You're still reflecting a decent amount of damage back while buying time and space for the Tusk to kind of equalize or maybe even get past the Ember. Because GeekFam supports Bounty Hunter. He's not exactly the greatest support, but he needs to get the level 6 fast, aka he needs to find kills around the map. If they get starved in the laning stage, he gets starved and he feels like a creep in the team. He does absolutely nothing. He might be able to track them, you get vision, but you already know where they're most likely moving because they're taking the map away from you. So I want to see GeekFam or Geek Slate play aggressively against Army Geniuses in that laning stage to hold and stand their ground. Like, this Clockwork can be a nuisance.
I like the point that you made because the supports of Army Geniuses, both of them, are very good at rotating towards the mid, and especially now because Clockwork will most likely be played in the safe lane against the Beastmaster Snapfire with the Morphling, and Morana rotating from the offlane is much easier than a Morana rotating from the safe lane because you have better angles for your arrow. So I like the point that you brought. Plus, Beastmaster not the greatest hero to leave alone, so Snapfire probably wouldn't want to be going away there to fight in the mid lane. Plus, not the greatest to rotate either. So right off the bat, this early game is looking a bit scary for Geek Slate. And when it comes to the later portions of it, Army Geniuses have themselves covered with the Morphling pick. So yeah, I'm loving what Army Geniuses are doing right now.
You also got the classic Mirana versus the Beastmaster, making the boar level up difficult. You might just go with the axe level up build, basically. You'd be able to poke. We've seen actually Beastmasters versus Morphlings quite often just always going for the axes. And having a pretty good time, like amplifying that axe damage, throwing more and more, keeping that regen up. You also have a Snapfire support, which could bring some extra mangoes to the lane, just so that they're able to have that HP trade going in their favor and buy themselves a good start for the laning stage. At level 3, we always talk about Beastmaster is because of the boar build. But if he goes axes, he's already good at level 1 and level 2.
Yeah, for sure. You know, especially because the Snapfire also does a lot of damage. Beastmaster, he with the axes, he can get the Morphling quite low, and then you are afraid of getting closer. Plus, sometimes we see the Morphling skip the second point in Morph, given from its let's say recent buff. It's allowing Morphlings to not have to max it out. And you know, you might have to against this kind of a lineup. Though you can see Army Geniuses, they're banning out the supports or AA in particular, but that means that they are maybe expecting a carry bounty hunter. I wouldn't mind it at all. I thought last time when Geek Slate played it that it is going to be a carry. Might be a better way to approach it right now. As we mentioned, bounty snap don't rotate too well to the mid lane. You might want to have stronger safe lane to bully the Mirana +1 that Army Geniuses are gonna pick up. Plus, you have a Beastmaster to get the big objectives, the towers and the Roches, so it would make sense. And they'll go for the Chan immediately. So yeah, we're seeing a carry bounty. Skem, he is definitely known for a very, very huge hero pool.
Yeah, huge hero pool indeed, and able to adapt as well. He can also bring up some fun heroes, and I think this also kind of neglects the idea of Bounty Hunter never getting to level 6. He's going to be a core, he's going to be farming, he's going to be hitting creeps wherever he can, and getting those quick levels. But I think Bounty Hunter timing is actually pretty huge this game. When you look at Morphling gets online, he will stay online throughout the game. He doesn't really wear off at any stage of the game. I think he just gets stronger and stronger. Getting the shard means that the Beastmaster Roar isn't going to be enough to kill you necessarily. So with this Bounty Hunter, you got to make things happen early on. You need to keep up in your item progression. Is he going for the Ags build where he's throwing shurikens at everyone? Could be spicy. It works nicely with the Ember, with the Snapfires, and Chen amplifying that attack speed too, which is pretty cool to have in the team too. They are going to bring up the DB Timber Saw, however, to finish off the draft for Army Geniuses. So interesting game 1 coming up, Harry.
Yeah, for sure. I'm not sure how to feel about the Timber Saw pickup. I'm kind of torn here. On one side, you are definitely just gonna be feeding gold to the Bounty Hunter. On the other side, Bounty Hunter does well in the first 3, 4, 5 levels anyways, but then once the rotation starts, that is when you have to be careful. You want to go for kills, but you can very easily die. And there is a Tusk who... I mean, Army Geniuses are going to be playing around for sure, so he's going to have a good time. Rana will always be around the mid lane. Clockwork will always be around the mid lane. Considering you have a Timbersaw, you can't leave him alone. You are playing against 2 strength heroes, but also you're playing against pretty much 2 very important heroes on the side of Geek Slate that want to be in your face. And when it comes to damage output, Geek Slate is in trouble. So, yeah, I think I'm leaning more towards this is a really good Timber pick, rather than I'm not sure he's going to be giving way too much gold to scam early on. Because the early mid game for Army Geniuses looks scary as hell, Panda, here. It's going to be very hard for Geek Slate to stay alive.
Yeah, it is. But there's also some strengths to it. Like the Chen, for example, can help out in winning one of the lanes. They have some pretty interesting rotations going on with their supports. Like Chen would love to be very mobile on the map. Snapfire gives you more kill potential. Beastmaster, especially Force, if he goes for the axe build, he's definitely got a lot of damage to amplify from all the help he's getting from his supports. So there's definitely not like Geek Slate's not gonna fall behind, but there's a chance, like you say, like you set the scenario where Army Geniuses might be rolling out in the first 10 minutes with a very big advantage on their side, and that's thanks to their draft. It really enables them to be effective as they exit the laning stage. So for them, ties are fine. They might even be able to lose a lane and they're still okay with it because they have the late game scaling in this draft, but. You look on the side of why am I? Yeah, I'm seeing something completely different here on my screen, but you guys are seeing it fine. On the side of GeekFam or Geek Slate, it's. But I mean, how do you put it? Do they need to succeed in the laning stage? Is it a must-have scenario? Because even if they get rocked in the laning stage, they can still bounce back, but it has to happen between 10 and 20.
In this game, I think the laning stage is actually divided into pre 5 minutes and post 5 minutes. I think during the first 5 minutes they have to do well. You are up against the Timber, level 1, level 2, level 3. He's not that dangerous. You need to pressure him. Same goes for the Morphling. But then as levels start going the way of Army Geniuses, they are going to be overtaking it. So at that point, if you're Geek Slate, you just let it go, right? You are fine to start losing a little bit, to give some ground to the enemies, allow them to get a bit more CS, maybe a tower or 2, and then when your Ember is ready, when your Beastmaster is ready, play around those 2 heroes, get the towers, and try to force Army Geniuses into fights around those 2 heroes. If you are able to do it, then you will get track kills and your lineup will work out. So yeah, they don't have ultra late game, but considering that they have a Vision hero and a Beastmaster, the strongest one in this game, even though there's some Vision on Army Geniuses as well, they can play the late game. It is not impossible, but it's a little bit easier for Army Geniuses to do so. So I think Geek Slate, they want to overtake 15 to 25 minutes, kill the Timbersaw, overtake the map, start getting those kills, start ramping up the advantage.
I would like to see that. And I'm let's say I'm intrigued about Scam's approach to the Bounty Hunter here. Are we seeing the more traditional axe build-up on this Bounty Hunter? Are we going to see something a little bit different? There's a lot of armor on the Timber, on the Morphling. Even the Moranas and the Tusks are pretty tanky targets, so it could be difficult to go for a physical damage build. They have a lot of magical on their side. You've got Mortimer's Kisses, Snap Combos, Embers. They all do a lot of magical damage, especially if we see Maelstrom on Cox.
I'd like to see an Axe, but before an Axe, I'd like to see a defensive item, be it a Vanguard or a Hood. This game, probably Hood is a better approach, but I think that Axe actually is a pretty solid one, because what Geek Slate want to do in this game is poke. They want to track people on the back of the vision that they have, and then just spam, go in only when you're certain you're gonna get the kill.
Well, we are going to start with the Janata here for Scam, so he's already stealing the pocket money off of CML. But our bounties do end up going 3 for 1 here on the side of Geek Slate.
Lane swap. Okay, so this is very good for Army Geniuses, because now even that early level 1, 2 3 is not gonna go the way of Geek Slate. This is really smart from Army Geniuses. They're even bringing 3 to the bottom.
Morph versus the Bounty Hunter. And bringing up a third with CML rotating in. Already got Raji playing pretty safe here in the back lines. Doesn't want to overextend, especially when you see that, okay, now they definitely have the information that Clockwork is here in the bottom lane. They've blocked the hard camp, preventing any pulls from happening, but CML is just going to pull the creep wave. It's like, screw these neutrals. I'm going to do what I want.
Yeah, and he's gonna connect it in a very...
Oh, he's not gonna. He's like, oh, he lost vision of the creeps. Oh, that could have been a big move there to get that lane moving in your favor, but not this time.
Dota is so cool when he does stuff like this. You do everything right, and then suddenly creeps are like, nope, we're not gonna allow you to screw over our heroes. This is just something that should not have happened. But overall, yeah, we can see that In Your Dream is doing a good job. He is pulling the creeps onto the range one, and it will make sure that the lane is pushing towards Army Geniuses.
Yeah, Mirana also making sure that that lane is definitely going in, throwing in the arrow too. There's no neutrals to throw in into the mix, so Varus, either he uses one of those sentries to open up the hard camp, or he's just going to keep pushing the lane with the arrow, make it difficult for the Bounty Hunter. Though he does have a lot of right-click damage because of the Janata being available.
I also like that Raji went for Penitence. He knows that there's going to be a lot of playing around with the creeps, so he used the Penitence, and suddenly the creeps do a lot of damage. But yeah, I think we can start looking at the other lanes for just a second before we return to the bottom, because that bottom lane is interesting. But we're seeing the Timbersaw actually having a decent time on the top lane. He got all 4 creeps in the first wave. Then Narman bullied him a little bit, but now DB is level 3 and ready for action once again.
Yeah, 2 points in reactive armor, so that's going to bring up a lot of extra armor and HP regen. He is going to be teleporting to bottom, so let's see if something kicks off here. Scam pretty low on HP. The Sentry Ward placed down on the ground against the Shadow Walk. Camerana going to get hit by the cookie. Shotgun flying through, and that's going to be a split kill for Raji and for Narman as the creeps finish the job. Maybe a second one here, CML. Penitence comes out a bit late, though. Just going to take some poke instead. Marana's courier going to be waiting there, so she's most likely just going to teleport straight back. She's going to go mid, fill in the bottle for Yowie, and then back to bot.
Yowie has been getting bullied a bit by the Embers, so getting that bottle refill is quite nice. Considering that the wave was in the tower already, no reason to hurry about the bottom lane. He also gets level 2, and that is what Varus needs. If he had it there, it would have been a lot different. And he gets a courier because Raji, he wanted his items transferred through the woods, and not gonna be working out too well for him.
Yep. Solid work indeed. Now looking at Varus was looking for a second courier here. Raji has opened the easy camp. He's going to have to start taking in some creeps for himself. He's got the Holy Persuasion leveled up. But there's always the Marana who's going to be a bit pesky. There's a giant wolf around here in this mid area. Varus just going to throw the arrow. He's not going to start toying with this creep. He's like, I'll just take it away.
You don't... Yeah, you know, it's not that hard to hit the Chen creeps. They don't have that much movement speed bonus on level 1 Holy Persuasion. Enchantress creeps are very hard to kill, but when it comes to a Chen, it's pretty easy for the Marana to get the arrow.
Yeah, Varus, he's trying to cut the pull here from Narman, but Narman's successful with it, though this creep wave, even if it's only 2 melee creeps, you have managed to successfully connect it. This wave is going to start pushing, or at least might actually stabilize here for a second, as In Your Dream does have a couple of creeps to pounce, or well, I wouldn't say pounce, but smash out of his way. Scam is also catching up in CS here.
Either way, Geek Slate are able to kind of stabilize it all. You know, you're not losing in CS at all. You're actually pretty happy.
Oh, he's trying here. Varus is coming in from the side. There's a lot of creeps in between, though. Waveform coming out from In Your Dream. Snapfire does get the shotgun on 2. Arrow is going to miss from Varus. They were looking to hope to connect it onto the Bounty. Bounty is going to be in trouble. He gets cookied the wrong way. He was hitting the cogs, and Narman pushes him in a direction which allows them to poke Scam even more, and he drops to 300.
he did have a lot of wand charges. Pretty important in a lane like this. He got the wand early on, level 1, just because of the timber, and then against the tri lane, well, it's gonna work just as well. You're always gonna have it full, and a very hard hero to bring down. You can see that in terms of physical damage, he doesn't really take any of it. You need to kill him with spells.
Arrow flying into mid. It's going to take down the catapult. Yowie is struggling CS-wise here, but Skem is going to find the kill. But however, there's a return. Morphling battling against the Bounty Hunter here. Adaptive Strike and several right clicks. That Morph does hit hard. Packs a punch. 1 for 1.
Bounty.
Geek Slate, I think, are going to be very, very happy with how these lanes went. DB gets level 6 on top, but he doesn't have the mana. We'll buy the Arcane Boot. It's not going to change much currently, though. So I think that Geek Slate are super happy how the lanes are going. Every single one went relatively okay for them.
Oh, they're going to try the Morph. It's going to be a close attempt, but it's going to be enough for them to take this kill. Skem in Shadow Walk. They will get themselves the cookie to connect on a Morphling who was ill expecting of anything awful to happen to him as he's solo in the lane. Now Cox is going to be fighting with his Haste Rune popped, chasing the Clockwork. There's still a Battery Assault ticking, but it has just expired. And this Ember Spirit, he's going to clear out this Clockwork. There's nowhere you can go. Slow death for him. He does buy some time with this Ember rotation, but still, Ember continues to increase his stonks. He's up to 3,200 now.
They're targeting DB, actually.
They are.
They don't have the...
They have Roar.
They don't have the track.
They're just spamming axes here, but it doesn't have the mana, yeah. Could have been a good opening if they had more resources there.
You need the Ember, I think, to kill the Timber. Now it's just to pull him back. They want a nice lane for the Bounty, and considering the DB doesn't have that much mana. Okay, now he does. The Arcane Boot's really helping him a bit over time to get the mana. So maybe, just maybe he can bully the Bounty just a little bit. But he needs someone to stun him if he wants to get a kill.
Yeah, this game has a pretty huge wave. He's going to have to farm under the tower, so he won't be able to poke the Timber Saw for the time being. While Ember was chasing for a kill, which he did get, it allowed Yowie to actually catch up in CS, and he's not too far behind the Ember now. So then you start to think, was that actually a lot of space created in a sense? Like, you know, the Clockwork was going to die anyway, but he really made them work for it.
They're going for Scam on top. Yowie making a bait with Illusion on the bottom lane.
Ball connecting, Walrus Punch, and an easy burst with the Chakram flying in. DB for the kill. Varus, he's being chased. There is Cox, there is Raji. They do anything here, just the two of them though. Pretty low on mana as well for the Ember Spirit. And we'll get some damage to the tower.
They want to play around this vision here. Army geniuses. They just want to stay here. They see that Cox doesn't have a lot of resources, and they go for
Chen.
another.
That's an easy connection there. Snowball, Walrus Punch into the arrow. And Cox is also being chased here. Ember can't lose his life. They take down the Morphling in the mid lane at the same time with the Snapfire and the Bounty Hunter rotating in. Did they just do the same combo again with the cookie from Invis? I think they did.
Yeah. You, I guess in your dream, he will need to learn. You know, you don't really see bounty hunters way too often. Even the Invis heroes, maybe a Nyx here and there, but you're definitely not used to it. No, Varish, that's gonna be a painful hit.
Yeah, Scam's gonna finish it off if Varish doesn't have a leap, but he does. Cox coming in for the side. Remnant jumping. He's got the slate. Ooh, that hurts also a lot. Smarana's not having a good time. Oh, they might just look for more. Cox got to level up. He's got chains. That will allow Skem to close the gap, but there's cogs in between. Now they just need to read the right direction where he's going. We'll take the route under the tower. Skem popping his face boots. He's going for the dive. And they do have themselves a track kill available here, and there we go. Skem's cleared it out.
Cogs are not gonna be able to push them back here. There is no reason to not continue chasing. They didn't get the tower. They will get Narman though, and it's very important. It's imperative that Yowie gets a lot of kills. But I think Geek Slate, they're starting their momentum. They're taking down the top tower. That's without the Beastmaster, and they can play this part of the map as much as they want.
Yeah, that's what they needed. The success in the laning stage, despite a little bit of a lane swap coming out from Army Geniuses. They're coming out with pretty flying colors. And it allows them actually to play this game with this draft. If they had a horrible laning stage, this could have been a very quick GG in a sense of how fast Army Geniuses would get online and how effective is the scaling against their power spike. So this buys them a lot of time to actually maneuver and, you know, play Dota.
Oh, the vision of Geek Slate is way too good. Army Geniuses cannot move around the map.
All right,
They're
Roll coming out.
he's gone.
Laughing at me, I know.
Their heroes are so good at killing, but you're seen wherever you go, and then Geek Slate are like more than happy to go for it. If it's a 1-for-1 trade, it's just not good enough. Army Geniuses have to find a target, a important target, whereas Geek Slate, anyone they kill, they're gonna be happy with it.
Skem is actually building up some nice net worth for him. He is leading currently. He does have some backup for TB. No Roar available as it was just used on the Mirana, but they do have a Centaur. And this is a Dominator, so it's not a Chen creep. They're gonna try for it. He's gonna chain away before the cookie lands. Getting a chance to turn around Timbersaw. Poke and force. Not really gonna lead into a kill, but he's gonna do a lot of damage here. And he's gonna force more rotations. I think his job is done here. Almost actually takes down 4. CML tried to snipe him with a hook shot. It doesn't connect, and now the Timber is gonna be in real trouble. And he's still chain away, 100 HP. He is ticking low. The Mortimer's Kisses will finish the job. And CML to drop 2. Yowie does move in. Varus is coming into the help as well. It's going to be a 3 versus 1 scenario as the Ember, he leaves this the vicinity of the crime scene, leaving it a bit of a battle for Army Genius to recover and recuperate from. They take down the carry for a trade of their offlane. It's a 2 for 2.
Yeah, but it is still some track kills going the way of Geek Slate. Obviously, level 1 track isn't that big of a deal, but it is a big deal for the bounty. Oh, he's going for a 4 staff. Okay, so defensive item
defensive
first,
item.
but yep.
He is listening to good old Harry here. Tusk is in trouble. Yowie down to a low HP amount here. Even with the Fairy Fire popped, it's not going to be enough to save him. And they feel confident enough to dive the Timbersaw with 20 reactive armor stacks under the tower. At least they force him away. The entire team is here to push down this mid tower. And Army Geniuses, they can't hold it.
They're like, if you come here, we are gonna fight, and that's gonna be bad for you either way. Like,
found another.
life is bad for Varish.
Oh, he tried to get the Shuriken off, but the leap. Yeah, he's not going to have the damage for it. It's only... Well, it's going to be a bit of a poke here. It's not going to be enough, though, with the level 2 Shuriken.
I had my faith in Scam that he was going to dive that. Bounty Hunter players do it all the time, but yeah, he doesn't want to die, because when he's not on the map, then Army Geniuses can move aggressively. It's the threat of the track that is allowing Geek Slate to play the map any way they like. And now they've opened up the map. You open the mid lane, you have the Bounty Hunter, you have the Beastmaster, you have all the vision in the world. It's time to go onto the aggressive if they want to, if they feel that they have a need to do it. And Army Geniuses will counter it with a smoke of their own. They need to make sure that people are always dead so that Geek Slate can be
fighting in the mid river. They will go for the hook shot, but it will fail. They got the arrow and the Walrus Punch to connect onto Cox. Clockwork will block the stairs, but they have Tumbler Toys. They have a way to find them. Find another route in. It will take down CML, but Skin, has he gone too far? Mortimer's Kisses going to be doing a mean amount of damage here, forcing them away. DB in the middle of 2. Timber Chain, Chakram available. He's going to call it in. Skem's going to get hit by it again. Chains onto the Mirana. Skem throwing in that triple track Shuriken. Going to be a nasty amount of damage. It's being sustained really well. He's got another one available. And he's going to toss it in. 1-2. Mirana almost dying. Yo, we will go down at least, but in your dream, taking the front line. Takes down Cox. He will find the kill on the Ember. And now it's down to the Bounty. Bounty finishes off the EB with that 3-point Shuriken. Does a lot of damage, and it's enough to take a Timber down. CML, no hook shot. 7 seconds more was required to extend that fight. And they will take down 2 cores for 1.
Scam feels like he doesn't need a axe in this game. He just wants to survive, and the BKB will give him that for sure. So he's going for that first. And we're seeing that Geek Slate, they're definitely not lacking in the damage department. Even when In Your Dream came, you're like, okay, the big guy is here. We have to run. they only get 1 kill. In your dream, there's nothing more you can do, and now he doesn't have more for 90 seconds. What does that mean? Geek Slate, they can go aggressive once again, and in your dream, he cannot have that much impact.
It found the Mirana again. When does he realize he has a track debuff on him? They're fighting against DB, forcing Varus to take action. Roar comes out, and the Remnant is there, but Skim finishes him off, but the right clicks DB down 2. And now you talked about this snowball. It's already begun before the 50-minute marker, and it is totally on right now. CML battling against Raji, but he's going to get turned around. There's a lot of creeps pummeling CML right now. Skem for the action too, finds a double kill, and he's surpassing the Morphling in farm here. This is looking pretty grim for Army Geniuses with this tempo. They just can't match it right now. They need more time.
The thing is, when they go for a play, when they want to bring down a hero, they can't because they're always being seen and buried.
As well. Oh man.
you know the bounty hunter line. There's a bounty on your head. I think that's how Varish is feeling this game.
Yeah, 5 deaths already. Technically, he's dead every 3 minutes on this Mirana. It might be even smaller than that. Because his hero is not great at scaling against the damage output. Skem spotted under a sentry ward. There's even a double sentry, but they can't get to him. They're going to pummel this Chen, though. A lot of damage coming in from In Your Dream. He will finish him out. The Chen army is now joining action. Track is there. The root comes out. He needs some strength more, but he's not morphing fast enough. It's only level 2. CML with a hook shot to disengage. Army Geniuses full panic mode. Clockwork down. It's a massacre. If Tusk is going to fall too, Cox almost catches the arrow, but he Remnant dodges there using the slate, and that's a double for Skem. 3 for 1. Morphling down. Just look at this team and this draft, how it excels.
They're making it look easy, and DB can't find an impact in this game. They're ignoring him and only go for him when he goes a little bit too deep. So these like are reading the situation on the map so nicely, and they're making sure that they are getting all of these kills. That's why I was unsure about the Timber pick. You never know how it's going to work out in games like this. If you can pull the attention onto yourself and not die, that's awesome. But with the lead that Geek Slate have currently, that's not going to be an easy thing to do. And Snafar has the Spirit Vessel. You have no ways of removing that. This is, as you mentioned, a massacre. And Skem, they need this kill.
Yeah, they need this one. It's on the Bounty Hunter. It's a long stun, but they need a little bit more. Skem gonna get the force staff out, but into another chakra from DB. He pulls in the Whirling Blade. He already got out of it once, but when you see it approaching again, that's when you really realize that he's in a bad place. Sliced to pieces.
I think Army Geniuses are happy with the kill, but it still came out from a mistake from the Bounty Hunter. If he forced behind towards this tower, so he clicked in a second there and went towards the Timber Saw, so slight mistakes allowed them
finding more top.
They wouldn't even get it.
They're using this blink on the Tusk perfectly here. That's another core kill inside 30 seconds. They just finished off the bounty in mid, rotated instantly to top with a smoke to find force.
It's giving them more speed, and that is what Army Geniuses needed. Speed with which you're going to be able to move around the map and then get the kills off the back of that. So now they can go to and from the Timber in a faster manner.
The response,
it's working out okay for them.
The response, Varus is being targeted once again. Skem right on the tail. Mirana down a half HP. They do find themselves on the back line, the Tusk. Yowie, Snowball buying some time. DB's gonna get there. Raji coming in with his army. You have the Mortimer's Kisses to fly in, and there's no more savior for the Tusk. He tried to turn around for a Walrus Punch. But there's no hookshot for 15. Skem in trouble, but so is In Your Dream. He has to wait for him away. He's leaving CML and DB alone by themselves. He's gone completely. Clockwork still needs some time. He's going to get stunned again. There's another Hadouken flying in, and Skem clears out this one. He's already 11 kills on this Bounty Hunter.
Army Geniuses, they're just incapable of fighting. I think when you see a smoke going into you, you just run away. There's no way you can do it. The way that Army Geniuses need to approach this game is if it's not them starting off the fight, getting that first kill, you're not going to have the damage necessary nor the HP necessary to survive through what Geek Slate is going to do. And they just walk straight into the Roche Pit with the Chen and with the Beastmaster. This is going to be an easy one.
I have to say, I'm really liking the Dota we're seeing here in this first game already. Just want to see Army Geniuses find a way back into this game. This could be a super tight game if they're able to extend it further. Right now, it is Geekslate in command of this game. We see the BKB coming up for the Bounty Hunter. He's finished off a Manta style too. He's looking for the Timber Saw here. He's got no reactive armor stacks. This guy does swish a lot of damage. His blades are sharp today, Harry.
Yeah, they most definitely are. And if there's a comeback from Army Geniuses, it has to come from In Your Dream. It has to be a move from Army Geniuses where they're starting off the fight, Morphling is turning into an Ember Spirit, and you're cleaning them out. Then you outpush the map, get the mid lane tower, and stop this the snowball from Geekslate that hasn't stopped for a very long time.
And was taken quite low here by the Tusk, but has Tusk actually given his life away for this attempt here? He can't even get past the shards that he placed down himself, so his Walrus Punch will not be connected onto the Bounty, instead used onto the Ember. Oh, Varish. Oh, boy. Indeed. Oh, they found themselves a favorite target. Yup, he's getting killed by a Maelstrom proc out of all things. Skem, he is battling against the Morphling, but they both pop their Manta Styles at the same time, trying to TP out. Shuriken's there for the cancel. Morphling, where you gonna go? There's nowhere you can escape, as this Bounty Hunter is just making his life absolute turmoil.
The thing is that that's just two heroes playing. With two heroes, they're killing three, all of them bounty or track kills, and while that is happening, the rest of the pack is getting a tier 2. So it just goes to show that Army Geniuses cannot be faster enough around the map, because Bounty Hunter can cancel out TP so easily. 5-second TP cancel, there's no way you're getting away from him, only if he really makes a huge mistake, and for that he has the Ember Spirit right next to him.
How do they get themselves out of this base, though? Because you need to find somebody to split push. Usually it's going to be the Timber Saw, but they also need to max out the farm on this Morphling. Timber almost has the same amount of CS this Morphling does.
You don't push the lanes here if you're Army Geniuses. You have to run directly to the enemy. That's the problem. You're 14k goal behind, and you have to run towards the enemy. It is very hard, but it is what you need to do. If you just go to push out the lanes and stuff like that, you're gonna be slower than Geekslate. They're gonna catch you, and more track kills will go
And they're going
way.
straight for the Timber Saw again here. He does manage to get out the moment the track pops on top of his head. He's back into the base. Army Genius is establishing some kind of control in the top jungle, but that's exactly where Geekslate's gonna go.
And that's
You
where
leave
they
your
want to
base.
fight.
Yep. You leave your base, you're gonna get hunted. Under a ward, they have been spotted. They know exactly there's somewhere about the area. There's a sentry down on the ground. I think that also caught a bit of vision for them to see that they're here somewhere. Who has the detection, though? Narman has a sentry.
They know.
And there we go. They found him. Double chains on the spot with the cookie. Oh, boy. You guys just got sandwiched.
Good thing for Army
Instant
Geniuses,
TPs.
they're dying so fast, so he can't track both of the targets. So
Instant
yeah, they
TPs
should
to
be
the
very
outpost
happy.
after that kill. Looking for the clockwork. He was next to the outpost. It's like, boys, next kill here.
Yeah, I think what Army Geniuses are trying to do right now is get the Axe on the Clockwork. I think we already had one game in this tournament, you and me, Panda, that we casted, where Clockwork Axe changed a lot just because of the ability to outpush the waves. And I think that's what CML and the rest of Army Geniuses are gunning for, because they can't get out of their base. On the top lane, you kind of have maybe towards your tier 2, you cross that line, they're gonna go for you. In the mid lane, you can get maybe to the logo, not farther than that, and bottom lane is just completely off limits. So you need a way to get those lanes out so that you can make a move that Geekslate are not going to be able to read. They need a lot more time for the Axe, though.
Yeah, you need like 10 minutes of extra gameplay, basically, for Army Geniuses to catch up to where the strengths lie for Geekslate. But you add that 10 minutes, how's Geekslate going to be looking like then? Well, definitely not like 10 minutes ago, because the tempo that they've had is just phenomenal. Tusk is going to roll in, looking for the attempt. Your arrow onto Skem. 40 seconds until that Aegis is going to run out, so they might have to force it instead of wait for it. They are dropping him low. They still need some time. They have no Glyph Roar coming out as well, connected onto the Timber with a Vessel on top, and he's burning. He's got a lot of metal on this Timber, but still, the more it burns, the harder it's going to start to hurt. You got in your dream, trying to keep them away from the base. CML's already down, wave forming through the team. Skem is low, 10 seconds. He knows he can't take him down now. He needs to wait a bit longer. Axis flying in, buyback from the Clockwork. This is where Army Geniuses, they need to succeed. They need to find success. The chains on 2 from Cox. He's low on mana. There's the Aegis expiring. DB on the high ground. Where do I go? Who do I go on? What do I do? Machine not working. Hello.
Yeah, nothing is working. It's the tree's fault.
Oh, not the Timber Saw. Almost dying as he exits the base. They couldn't find a follow-up with that buyback. That stings. That stings a lot. And now there's a BKB on the Beastmaster too, so he can feel even more frisky.
Man, Morphling is aware just how much they're lacking in damage, so he's turning into the Beastmaster, getting the Wild Axes out and hoping that someone is going to overextend and he's going to beat them up with the right clicks. But in your dream, he wants to go for a Scotty. I think this is one of those games, you just get a Crystallis. You know that people have to die faster. There's no doubt about it. They have to die, period.
To the Marana again. And he just used the leap charge there as well as he got sliced by Cox.
That is... I think Varish is currently just food. You know, when they see him, it's a free track.
And CML, the same problem for him as well. Death number 10 imminent. Roar coming out onto the Morphling. Morphling needs to save. The snowball comes out. He got himself Yowie right next to him. Onto the Ember Spirit. They do a bit of damage, but they're too tanky. Yowie's gonna go down the Tusk. Just feels like a creep. They don't care. DB throwing in some chakrams, trying to bully them a little bit, but they're just stacking up on a second lane of Rax here. Mid's been taken away by the skeletons, but the heroes are taking bottom. Glyph is recovered. And now they just need some way to get in. There's no hook shot for CML for another half a minute. Raji, he's cleared out the melee Rax with his army. Now they start to look for the range Rax here in the bottom lane. Barish needs to plant the arrow on a target. CML 15 seconds. Geek Slate could just keep on going here. They're very cautious about their positioning, but they have the BKBs that they need. They keep the Timber on chains, and they will finish off the Rax. They're going to pull them to the low ground if they can. Arrow flying in, only giving vision, no connection. Hookshot ready. But CML can't go. The rest aren't going. They just lost 2 lanes of Rax. Nobody killed.
Yeah, they didn't want buyback on the Tusk. I'm not sure about what Army Geniuses do right now. They are not even buying out their items, so this lead is even higher, and Geek Slate are just getting their big items over and over again. Marana is dead once more.
Yeah, they found food. Sagan will be prepared into a meal for Geek Slate. And now they're going to take the last remaining Rax.
You have a Grandma, you have a really nice heat from the Ember Spirit, and you have a Bounty Hunter to chop her up, and has been doing that for the majority of the game. Yep. So yeah, this is looking pretty over here, Panda. But Army Geniuses, come on, give us one last fight. Let's go.
Remnant Shard be popping some damage here. Might break some blinks too, especially the Tusk. Tusk coming in from the bottom. CML2. Mega creeps in the base. DB about to fall. He's down. No buyback available for the Timber Saw. And taking it all the way with the Morphling in the front line. Spirit Vessel there. Force with his BKB. Roar's available. But here's the snowball. Then they can use it right after. And looking for it. Looking for it. As they call the GG. And they wipe out Army Geniuses. This only took 28 minutes. But this game really feels like a 15-minute run over from Geek Slate as they take the first game and 1 game away from securing grand finals.
There was only one point in the game where Army Genius was like, okay, maybe things are starting to look better. That's when they got the Blink Dagger on the Tusk. But it was only the surprise element of Army Geniuses for that one that allowed them to get a couple of kills on Geek Slate, and then it stopped. Geek Slate started playing a bit more defensive. They played some defensive wards in their own jungle, even though they had more towers taken down. They didn't place aggressive vision. They placed defensive because they knew that Army Geniuses had to come over. Marana, Tusk, Clockwork, if these heroes aren't getting kills, you're not doing anything. You're gonna fall off later on, and we saw it. 0-10 on the Marana, 0-10 on the Clockwork, 4-8 on Yowie. The trio, the murderous trio of Army Geniuses, was completely shut down, and then it was an easy job for Geek Slate to get kills over and over again, and the track just ramped up to such amazing heights that Army Geniuses never had a chance there at the end.
And I think it's fair to mention here, and is noteworthy, this was a first phase bounty hunter that ended up still being a big issue this game. Force died once. Ember died once. They found a couple pickoffs from Skem, but they only found them in moments where Geek Slate was ready to fight back. You see Ember going for a 29 KDA in this game. That's a solid statement to start off this series.
Yeah, for sure, especially because Army Geniuses did so well. They won against Geek Slate 2-0 just a couple of days ago, but that was the start of the patch. Geek Slate now, they're ready. They know what they want. They know how they're gonna do it, and this was just an amazing performance from them.
That only requires that Army Geniuses figure out what Geek Slate want to do. So, you know what's up next. We're going to take a tiny break and we'll be back for Game 2 of the series and see if they can bounce back and bring it into a tie. Or are we going to know who's going to the grand finals after the next game?